Michèle C. St.Amour here, and welcome to my 2026 yearly energy forecast. The year of new beginnings, and it's why everything you think you know is about to change. Et voilà.
Why everything you think you know is about to change. Let me tell you something about 2026 that nobody else is talking about. When you add up the numbers, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, you get 10, which reduces to 1. But this isn't just any one year. This is a 10 to 1, which means it's a pure 1 with divine protection in the 0. The 0 represents that divine protection. And because of this protective influence, there will be flavors of 2 in our experiences: cooperation, balance, relationships coming into play alongside the independence, and new beginnings of the 1. Here's what most people don't understand about the timing. The beginning of 2026 will still carry the influence of our last year 9, which is all about endings. That 9 energy will still be grounding us until about spring, but it will become less and less as the 1 energy takes over. This is actually good news. If you have unfinished business or things left uncompleted from the past cycle, there's still a chance to get it done and have the universe support you. Once the full 1 energy comes in around spring, it's full on. Then the 1 influence will begin to recede in late fall as the next complex numbers begin to arrive and make themselves known, which is going to be an 11, a master number year in 2027. So knowing this, be ready to ground in a whole new way. I've been teaching Chakaura soul numerology for decades, and I can tell you that a personal year 1 is your cosmic new year. It doesn't matter what the calendar says. When you hit a 1 year, the universe opens a window of opportunity that won't come around again for 9 years. What you plant now, the choices you make, the stands you take, the systems you build, that's what you'll be harvesting through 2034. Here's the thing about humanity right now. We're all standing at that same threshold together. This is collective initiation, and it's not optional. The world we're leaving behind. Here's what we need to own. We created this world through our choices. Every system that's not working, every structure that's failing, every pattern that's causing harm, we built it. We participated in it. We sustained it. Not because we were victims, not because they did it to us, but because we collectively chose convenience over sovereignty, comfort over truth, and certainty over growth. We chose to outsource our power to institutions rather than cultivate it within ourselves. We chose quick fixes over root healing. We chose distraction over presence. We chose to believe what we were told rather than verify for ourselves. We chose financial security in systems we didn't trust over building alternatives that aligned with our values. We chose to stay silent when speaking up felt too risky. These weren't wrong choices at the time. They were the choices that made sense based on where humanity's consciousness was. But the outcomes of those choices are now showing us it's time to choose differently. The anxiety, the depression, the chronic illness, the fractured relationships, the failing institutions, the environmental damage, these are all feedback. The universe is showing us the natural consequences of living with reversed polarity, of choosing mental escape over physical embodiment, of seeking transcendence over integration. The good news, we're waking up to this. Not because someone is saving us, but because we're recognizing that we are the ones who must shift. The changes you're seeing, people questioning authority, seeking alternatives, building parallel systems, reclaiming sovereignty, these aren't reactions to oppression. These are humans remembering their creators and choosing to create differently. The shift is happening. The awakening isn't about exposing them. It's about recognizing ourselves as creators. We're seeing the consequences of our collective choices and deciding to choose differently, not from victimhood or rage, but from responsibility and creativity. The human shift underway. In my Chakaura numerology work, I teach that number 1 personalities must learn independence and creative leadership. They achieve success through innovation and self-reliance, but their challenge is always ego mastery. Right now, humanity as a collective is working through this exact curriculum. We're learning to stand independently rather than comply. We're creating new systems rather than reform broken ones. And we're facing the shadow work of balancing individual sovereignty with collective well-being. Let me show you what this shift actually looks like on the ground, because this isn't theory. This is happening right now. We created this world through our choices. Every system that's not working, every structure that's failing, every pattern that's causing harm, we built it. We participated in it. We sustained it. Not because we were victims, not because they did it to us, but because we collectively chose convenience over sovereignty, comfort over truth, and certainty over growth. We chose to outsource our power to institutions rather than cultivate it within ourselves. We chose quick fixes over root healing. We chose distraction over presence. We chose to believe what we were told rather than verify for ourselves. We chose financial security in systems we didn't trust over building alternatives that aligned with our values. We chose to stay silent when speaking up felt too risky. These weren't wrong choices at the time. They were the choices that made sense based on where humanity's consciousness was. But the outcomes of those choices are now showing us it's time to choose differently. The anxiety, the depression, the chronic illness, the fractured relationships, the failing institutions, the environmental damage, these are all feedback. The universe is showing us the natural consequences of living with reversed polarity, of choosing mental escape over physical embodiment, of seeking transcendence over integration. The good news, we're waking up to this, not because someone is saving us, but because we're recognizing that we are the ones who must shift. The changes you're seeing, people questioning authority, seeking alternatives, building parallel systems, reclaiming sovereignty, these aren't reactions to oppression. These are humans remembering their creators and choosing to create differently. The shift is happening. The awakening isn't about exposing them. It's about recognizing ourselves as creators. We're seeing the consequences of our collective choices and deciding to choose differently, not from victimhood or rage, but from responsibility and creativity. The human shift underway. In my Chakaura numerology work, I teach that number 1 personalities must learn independence and creative leadership. They achieve success through innovation and self-reliance, but their challenge is always ego mastery. Right now, humanity as a collective is working through this exact curriculum. We're learning to stand independently rather than comply. We're creating new systems rather than reform broken ones. And we're facing the shadow work of balancing individual sovereignty with collective well-being. Let me show you what this shift actually looks like on the ground, because this isn't theory. This is happening right now. Decentralization movements are exploding everywhere you look. Bitcoin hit $100,000 because people recognize it as freedom from central bank manipulation. Local food movements are thriving as people realize industrial agriculture is poisoning them. Homeschool networks have quadrupled since 2020 because parents saw what schools were actually teaching their children. Parallel economies are emerging where people trade goods and services outside the surveillance and taxation grid. This isn't preparation for some future collapse. This is already working right now. Medical sovereignty is the flashpoint. People are done with pharmaceutical dependency. I'm seeing women deliver babies at home with midwives rather than in hospitals. where they'll be pressured into unnecessary interventions. I'm watching people heal chronic conditions with nutrition, herbs, and energy work after decades of pills that only manage symptoms. The medical freedom movement isn't just about vaccine choice anymore. It's about reclaiming authority over your own body and health. The choices you'll face in 2026. This year is going to ask you to make decisions you've been avoiding, not because the universe is punishing you, but because you're ready for the next level of your evolution. Here's what's coming and how to navigate it. Your health choices. You're going to be confronted with decisions about your body, your health, your energy. The old way, trusting doctors blindly, taking pills without question, ignoring your body's signals, that's not going to work anymore. Your body is going to demand your attention, whether it's through symptoms, fatigue, or just a knowing that something needs to change. You'll be asked, are you going to keep outsourcing your health to a system that profits from your illness? Or are you going to reclaim authority over your own body? The good choice? Start learning. Study nutrition for yourself. Find practitioners who treat root causes, not just symptoms. Listen to your body. Trust your instincts about what feels right for you. This doesn't mean rejecting all modern medicine. It means being educated enough to choose wisely. The consequence of avoiding this choice: your body will keep escalating the signals until you're forced to pay attention. And the longer you wait, the harder the wake-up call becomes. Your spiritual practices. Many of you are exploring meditation, breath work, ceremony, plant medicines, seeking spiritual connection outside organized religion. This is an important step away from external religious authority. But here's what you need to know. Most of these practices are creating reversed polarity in your system. Every time you leave your body to get guidance, you lose soul. Every practice that emphasizes transcending, raising your vibration, or escaping physical reality, these are actually contributing to the anxiety, depression, and inability to manifest that you're experiencing. You're stuck in your head, ungrounded, unable to function in physical reality, wondering why all your spiritual work isn't making your life better. You're going to be asked, are you going to keep seeking enlightenment through old practices that were designed for a different phase of human evolution? Or are you ready to learn the next step, conscious integration instead of transcendent escape? The good choice: understand that the path forward isn't about leaving your body or raising your vibration out of matter. It's about bringing consciousness fully into your body, grounding it, and expressing it through action and creation in physical reality. This is why Chakaura methodology teaches proper polarity, energy flowing down from consciousness into your body and out into the world as manifestation, not up into your head seeking escape. The consequence of avoiding this choice: you'll keep getting more anxious, more ungrounded, more unable to create the life you want, wondering why you're so spiritual, but so unable to function practically. Your financial security: the economy is going to get more unstable. Your savings might lose value. Your job might become uncertain. Investments might not perform as expected. This isn't doom and gloom. This is the necessary collapse of corrupt financial systems before honest ones can emerge. You're going to be asked, are you going to cling to financial security and systems you don't trust? Or are you going to start building real wealth, skills, land, community, tangible assets that can't be devalued by central banks? The good choice: reduce debt aggressively. Learn skills that have value in any economy: food production, repair work, healthcare, teaching. Build relationships in your local community. Diversify beyond dollars into things they can inflate away. Start participating in parallel economies, barter, skill shares, local trade. The consequence of avoiding this choice: you'll watch your financial security evaporate while feeling helpless. then spend years trying to rebuild from a worse starting position. Your relationships and community. You're going to face tension in relationships with people who are at different stages of awakening. Family members who think you're crazy. Friends who don't want to hear what you're seeing. Communities fractured over different choices made during recent years. You're going to be asked, are you going to stay in relationships out of obligation or fear, or are you going to honor your path while making space for others to be on theirs? The good choice? Speak your truth without needing others to agree with you. Set boundaries without being cruel. Build new community with people aligned with where you're going, while staying compassionate toward those still asleep. Let go of relationships that drain you, but without bitterness. Your vibration is shifting. Not everyone can match it, and that's okay. The consequence of avoiding this choice. You'll stay small to keep others comfortable. Resentment will build, and eventually the relationships will end anyway, but with more damage and less grace. Your work and purpose. Many of you are in jobs that don't align with your values, working for companies or systems you don't believe in, doing work that doesn't feel meaningful. 2026 is going to make this misalignment increasingly uncomfortable. You're going to be asked, are you going to stay in work that's killing your soul because it pays the bills? Or are you going to start moving toward your actual purpose, even if you don't have it all figured out yet? The good choice. Start taking steps toward alignment. That might mean changing jobs, starting a side business, learning new skills, or simply doing your current work with different energy while planning your transition. The universe supports movement toward purpose in a 1 year, but you have to actually move, not just think about it. The consequence of avoiding this choice. The misalignment will become intolerable. You'll either be forced out through job loss or health breakdown, or you'll stay and become increasingly bitter and resentful, wondering why your life feels meaningless, why this timing matters. The 10/1 year with divine protection means you have support for bold moves right now. The universe is literally conspiring to help you create something new, but that support has a window. It's strongest from spring through fall 2026. If you procrastinate, if you wait for perfect conditions, if you stay in analysis paralysis, you're setting yourself up for 9 years of playing catch up. Because the next cycle, 2027 through 2034, will be about harvesting what you planted in 2026. If you plant nothing, you harvest nothing. And here's the part most people don't understand. The choices you make in 2026 aren't just about you. They're about the collective field. Every person who chooses sovereignty over security, creation over complaint, action over analysis, they're making it easier for the next person to choose the same. You're literally helping create the new paradigm that your children and grandchildren will live in. The real reason you're stuck. Most of your health issues, your inability to manifest, your anxiety and depression, you're feeling disconnected from your body. This is all about reversed polarity. You have too much energy stuck in your head and not enough flowing through your body into action. You've been taught to seek spirituality by leaving your body, transcending physical reality, raising your vibration. But that's the old curriculum. We graduated. The new assignment is conscious integration, bringing all that awareness, all that wisdom fully into physical form and creating with it. This is why Chakaura methodology is different from everything else out there. It's not energy healing that just moves energy around. It's not more meditation that pulls you out of your body. It's consciousness integration that corrects your polarity. So energy flows properly down from consciousness through your entire system into your body and out into the world as manifestation. When your polarity is correct, you're grounded, present, able to create healthy, connected to your body. When it's reversed, you're anxious, ungrounded, unable to manifest, disconnected, and no amount of spiritual practice will fix it because those practices are what's creating the problem. What to do right now? If you're feeling the call to make changes in 2026, here's what will serve you. Start where you are. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you have it all figured out. The one energy rewards movement, not planning. Take one small step toward health sovereignty, one step toward financial diversification, one conversation about what you really want, one boundary you've been afraid to set. Get honest about what's not working. Stop pretending the job you hate is fine. Stop ignoring your body's signals. Stop staying in relationships that drain you out of obligation. The feedback is showing you where change is needed. Pay attention. Find support from people who are choosing similarly. You need community with others who are building alternatives, not just complaining about problems. Whether that's through programs like Bridge the Gap or Discover and Awake, or local communities in your area. Surround yourself with people oriented toward creation, not victimhood. Learn about proper polarity and grounding, because without correct polarity, everything else you're trying to build will be unstable. This is foundational. It's not optional if you want to thrive in this new phase of evolution. Trust your soul's knowing over external authority. You know what's right for you. You know what needs to change. You know what you're being called toward. Stop doubting yourself because others don't see it yet. Your assignment is yours. It's not up for committee vote. Your harvest through 2034. Imagine it's 2034 and you're looking back at 2026. What do you want to have created? What do you want to have become? Who do you want to be? If you plant sovereignty seeds in 2026, health sovereignty, financial sovereignty, spiritual sovereignty, community sovereignty, by 2034, you'll be living in a completely different reality. You'll have real wealth, not paper wealth, real health, not managed symptoms, real community, not superficial networks, real purpose, not meaningless work. But if you wait, if you stay comfortable in systems you know are failing, if you keep doing the old practices that create reverse polarity, if you avoid the choices you're being asked to make, then in 2034, you'll be struggling to catch up to where you could have been, wondering why you didn't act when the window was open. The choice is yours. It's always been yours. The only question is whether you'll claim it. A blessing for your journey. I want to leave you with this. If you're hearing these words right now, it's not an accident. Your soul guided you here because you're ready for this next step. You might not feel ready. Your mind might be full of doubts and fears, but your soul knows. Your soul always knows. I bless you on this journey into 2026. May you have the courage to make the choices that align with your deepest truth, even when they scare you. May you find the support and community you need as you walk this path. May your polarity correct so your energy flows properly and your health returns. May you ground your consciousness so fully into your body that you become the creator you were always meant to be. May you plant seeds this year that grow into the life you've been dreaming of. May you trust yourself when everyone around you thinks you're crazy. May you find your way back to your body, back to the earth, back to what's real. And may you know in your bones that you are not alone on this path. If you're feeling the call to do this work, to correct your polarity, to ground your consciousness, to learn the higher science of well-being that humanity needs right now, we're here. The Chakaura Institute exists for exactly this moment, for people exactly like you who are ready to move forward into the new paradigm. Whether it's through Bridge the Gap, Discover and Awake membership, or working directly with our certified Chakaura practitioners, We have the support and guidance you need for this transition, because you shouldn't have to figure this out alone. You shouldn't have to navigate reversed polarity without understanding what's happening. You shouldn't have to learn to ground consciousness by trial and error when we already know how. Visit us at Chakaura.com to learn more about how we can support your journey. If you're listening to this, you're ready. Your soul knows it, even if your mind is still catching up. 2026 is your year, your cosmic new year, your window of opportunity. What you plant now, you harvest through 2034. Make it count. The year of new beginnings starts now.
A weaver's dream, a tapestry of light, weaving tapestry of dreams, unfulfilled, set in motion. Time forges the weaver's magic, holds the secret, the missing link to all the weaver's creations. The energy of love